Hey, this is Glenn. Welcome to another episode of Difficult Questions. This one, is the future real? The reason I'm doing this episode, I have a friend of mine in her 30s, and I remember being in my 30s. It was this idea that you're building something, and you don't exactly know what it is, but you know what people have told you needs to be and how to get there. And so there's this need to do things right. She calls herself a dreamer, which is great. I think that we live on dreams and hopes and prayers and plans. And we, as a society, as people, we built this relative stability that we can then have these hopes and dreams and plans. But when I was in my 30s, I was building something that other people wanted me to build. And I didn't realize that because the pressure was always there. You need to do this, you need to do that. I ended up getting married to a person that told me we either needed to get married or she was going to leave, because she also had this idea of what she wanted to build. And I spent 10 years of my life building for a future that never came. And I realized that my life, my now, was awful and I didn't like it. And the irony is I was hating my life for a future of hating my life. and I broke. So what happened with me is marriage was falling apart, lost a house because we bought it in 2006. So the housing crisis, ended up getting out of that house in 2012, but ruined us. And then I was a university professor, kind of fell into that, being I was chasing a title, but I didn't like the day-to-day of what it was like to be a professor. And so I built this 10, 11 year career and realized I hated it. So everything was falling apart. In 2015, I broke, and that was kind of in the beginning of my 40s. I had this realization that I can only control now. Plus, I have a history of getting hit by distracted drivers, so that cleans everything out. In 2005, I broke my leg and hip, had to relearn how to walk. And then in 2022, I got hit by another distracted driver. Everything I had built from and struggled for from 2015 to 2022 just kind of got cleaned out. Got to start all over. So when people start talking about the future and their hopes and their dreams, I say the future is not real, and I have proof. But you still have to be able to recover and be happy. No one likes being around an intense, angry person. And in my 30s, when I was building this future, I was also just really intense. And people liked me, but you couldn't be around me much because I was angry at what I was doing then and building for this future, just so intense. And I realized that wasn't a way to live life. What is my now? Am I being a jerk right now? Am I being happy right now? I was just telling a few weeks ago, when you get hit by a car, you can't be sad because being sad is a miserable life. And people laughed because that sounds ridiculous. You get hit by a car, you get to be sad, right? But what I found is, and this is after years of getting hit by cars, sad things are going to happen. But what do you do with those? So if the future is real for you, and it has been real for other people, and I know the stability works. People get successful dream jobs or build the successful business they wanted, have the relationship that they want, they have the children that they want. And those children are people they can enjoy and watch grow and are successful. And that's the beautiful dream. And it happens for some people. And I think that you get to want that. But what if it doesn't happen? What if you get eaten by a bear or hit by a car or a tornado ruins your life? Then what? How good are you at adapting when your future maybe doesn't work out the way you thought or expected it to be? For me, I had to learn, I have to adapt, and I should enjoy my now and stay positive. And that, I think, is the hardest thing to figure out. I just think that looking at the future and putting so much stock into the future, you're putting stock into something that's not necessarily real. You can tell I'm very nihilistic and kind of happily nihilistic about this. Again, it comes from my personal background, and that throws a lot of people off. Nihilism isn't usually inspirational. That's not something that people aspire to. But I have turned it into something inspirational because I refuse to accept sadness. Yet catastrophic things keep happening to me, or I make decisions that don't pan out. When I make a film and it wins awards, as The Bag is doing now, great. That could lead to something. That could lead to nothing. My now is fun. And that is all I care about. So back to my friend, she's projecting what she wants, which again is great, but she's sad if she thinks that she's not building the right puzzle pieces. And I say, what is your now? Your now is great. You have a family that loves you. You have a new career. You have a band that has formed you like, that is getting requests. That's an amazing life. I think that is maybe the key, is to always look at your now, because I don't think the future is real. But I know other people do, and successful business people talk about manifesting and believing things. And therefore, because you know it's real, you believe it's real, it becomes real, which I will not argue. I know people that amazing things happen to, and I don't know how the world works or the meaning of life. And I know that I remember hearing a scientist say one mushroom from some certain continent learns from another mushroom not attached. How does that work? We are all molecules. We don't know the physics of everything. So I do think that if you carry yourself with a beautiful future in mind and knowing that, that rubs off on people and that can inspire people, and therefore your future can become real. But that car driver doesn't know about your amazing future, and one split second of them not paying attention, your future is changed. So what is the future? Is it real? Is it something that you believe in? Is it something that you work for? What is your relationship with the future? Let me know. Thanks.